Hello, friends. Before we dive right into today's story, tell me, do you enjoy listening with a cup of coffee, or is tea your thing? Here I'm helping you discover new vocabulary, practice your listening, and enjoy the beauty of storytelling. Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. I love reading your comments. It was the morning that could change my life forever, and my hands were already trembling before I even touched the door of the office building. For weeks, I had been waiting for this opportunity, polishing my resume until every word shone like glass, rehearsing answers in front of the mirror as though the reflection could judge me, and even ironing the same shirt 3 times to make sure it looked perfect. This was not just another interview. It was my chance to step out of years of struggle, of endless applications that disappeared into silence, of small rejections written in polite but cruel emails. As I stood outside the tall glass building, I felt both small and hopeful, like a traveler at the edge of a new world. The receptionist greeted me with a professional smile, her voice calm and confident, while mine cracked when I introduced myself. She asked me to wait, and I sat in a hall full of other candidates, each one dressed in their best, each one carrying the same mixture of fear and hope. Some scrolled through their phones, pretending to be calm, while others tapped their feet nervously on the marble floor. I could hear the ticking of the clock above me, every second louder than the last, reminding me that in a few moments my entire future might be decided by strangers in suits. As my name was finally called, my heart raced like a drum in a storm. I walked into a room with polished wooden tables, 3 interviewers sitting across from me with folders in front of them, their faces unreadable. They asked me to sit, and I lowered myself into the chair, trying to hide the shaking in my hands. The first question was simple. Tell us about yourself. But even the simplest question can feel like a mountain when your voice carries the weight of your entire life. I spoke slowly, choosing words carefully, telling them about my education, my past jobs, the skills I had learned, and the determination that had kept me going even when doors closed one after another. Their pens moved across paper as they listened, nodding slightly, but my mind kept racing, wondering if every word I said was enough. They asked about challenges I had faced, about a time when I failed, and I told them honestly about projects that collapsed but taught me more than success ever could. They asked about teamwork, and I remembered nights when colleagues became family, pushing deadlines with tired eyes but shared courage. They asked about why I wanted this job, and in that moment I did not use fancy words. I simply told them the truth, that I wanted to belong to something meaningful, that I wanted to grow, and that I was ready to give more than just time. I was ready to give heart. The room was silent for a few seconds, and in that silence I felt my entire soul exposed. When the interview ended, they thanked me with polite smiles, and I walked out with knees that almost gave way beneath me. The hall looked emptier now, but my head was crowded with thoughts. Did I say enough? Did I sound too nervous? Did they notice the sweat on my hands or the slight crack in my voice? I walked home that day with hope chasing fear like 2 shadows fighting on the same street. The next morning, as the sun pushed through my window, I received the email. My heart froze before my eyes even read the words, because after so many rejections, I had grown afraid of opening letters from companies. But this one was different. It started with congratulations. And for a moment the world became brighter than I had ever known it. I read the line again and again, afraid the letters would vanish if I blinked. I had been selected. That job interview had not just given me employment, it had given me back my faith in myself. I realized then that interviews are not only about questions and answers. They are about honesty, about courage, about showing up even when your heart is terrified. They are about believing that your story matters, even if it trembles on your lips. Weeks later, when I sat at my new desk for the first time, surrounded by people who welcomed me with smiles, I thought back to that nervous morning outside the glass building. I remembered my shaking hands, my racing heartbeat, my fear of being small. And I smiled, because those same trembling hands had carried me into a future I once thought was unreachable. And in that moment, I understood the true moral of my journey. Sometimes the most frightening doors lead to the most beautiful rooms. Life will test you with rejection after rejection, but all it takes is one chance, one interview, one moment of courage to turn everything around. And if anyone ever asked me what the secret to surviving a job interview was, I would tell them this. Don't try to be perfect, try to be real. Because employers don't just hire skills, they hire souls, they hire stories, they hire people who dare to show the truth of who they are. And as I shut down my computer on my very first day at the job, I whispered to myself, I made it. A job interview is not just about convincing others of your worth. It is about discovering the strength you already carry within yourself. Never let rejection break you, because every no is simply making space for the right yes.